Hi everybody, this is first episode in the tutorial series, Level Design 101. And yeah, I just messed up. We're gonna cut that out. Alright, so pretty much in this tutorial, we're gonna go over the basics in Blender, how to maneuver around the screen, how to rotate the screen, how to move objects in the screen by switching in and out of object mode, how to edit objects by pressing tab and going into edit mode, so on and so forth. And throughout the tutorial series, I will be walking you through, talking to you, and pretty much, like, I want to connect with you. I want to get your feedback and everything, okay? Alright, okay, so let's do this. First off, if you already have a screen open in Blender, you go up to File, click on New. It automatically deletes it. So if you have something that you did and you want to save it, you make sure you save it before you start something new. Now, when you first open up Blender, you have this. This is the basic setup for Blender. So yeah, just ignore that. That was my Yahoo going off. So this is the basic setup for Blender. You have a default cube, you have a lamp, and you have a camera. We're not going to get into the lamp and the camera right now. We're going to get into that further on, later on down in the tutorial series when we actually have something that we can light and everything. So first things first, what I would normally do, I just delete the default cube by pressing the delete key, of course. So if you want to add something in, you press Shift A, that brings up the add menu. And then you have the mesh, curve, surface, I believe that's metaball. You can add text, armatures, lattice, and empty, so on and so forth. But for now on, we're going to start off with the mesh. I'm going to add in the plane. And so there's your plane. You added it in. Good job for you. You get a cookie. Now you press tab to go into edit mode. I'm not sure if you can notice, but when you press tab, these vertices appear on each corner of the mesh. You can right click and drag in order to manipulate it, or you can just pretty much click. You can pretty much click it, left click the arrows to move it that way, so that you have more precision that way. But if you right click and drag, you have more control over where you want it to go. So, and down here at the bottom of the screen, you have edit mode. You can go into sculpt mode, which is pretty much sculpt it. Hold on. Also, a useful thing, whenever you're in edit mode, you press the W key. You click on subdivide. Well, wait. Oh, wait. Hold on. Backtrack. You press the A key to select and deselect everything. So if you have nothing selected, you press the A key and you select it again. So when everything is selected, you press the W key and you click on subdivide. The W key pretty much brings up the specials menu. You have subdivide smooth, which pretty much does the same thing as subdivide, except it's pretty much smoother. You have merge, remove doubles, hide, reveal, select inverse, flip normals. That has to do with textures and stuff. We'll get into that later. Smooth, shade flat, so on and so forth. So we're gonna subdivide this a couple of times. Then you press the S key to actually scale up the mesh to make it bigger. You press the S key, you can make it big as much as you want. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing. Whenever you're in Blender, the middle mouse wheel, you click and hold that to rotate it, and you pretty much scroll it back and forth to zoom in and out. And that's pretty much how you maneuver around the screen. Also, if you want to move to the left or right, just like strafe to the left or strafe to the right, you hold down either shift key, it doesn't really matter, and you pretty much hold down the middle mouse button and move it up, down, left, right, so on and so forth. Now that we have our plane subdivided, we go out of edit mode by pressing tab, and then you go over here, you go to sculpt mode. Wait, that's vertex paint. We'll get into that later. Sculpt mode, you pretty much sculpt whatever you want. Like you can make mountains, valleys, you can pretty much sculpt the whole city if you want to, but that's complicated, and I'm not going to put you guys through that just yet. You go over here to the brush menu. You have the radius, which makes it bigger, so that way you can actually do more with it. Then you lower it back down, it makes the circle smaller, so that way you can actually add more detail to it, to whatever you're sculpting. And the sculpting is also useful for creating different types of terrain, so on and so forth. Terrain. You can also use it to sculpt a person's face, a character's face, so on and so forth. And so now another basic thing to do is whenever you go into edit mode, you have, let's see, we're gonna select a plane. Have a plane selected, scale it up a little bit, move it up so that way you guys can see. Whenever you have a plane selected, you press the E key to extrude it, which pretty much makes a copy of it. And yeah, this is what it does. I'm not really sure how to explain this in the proper terms, but yeah, that's pretty much what the E key does. It extrudes it. And you press the R key, you pretty much can rotate it any way you want, as long in however way you're facing, it pretty much rotates it along that axis. Like if you're facing along the x-axis, it'll rotate along the x-axis. Rotate it along the y-axis. If you're looking through the y-axis, it'll rotate it on the y-axis. And yeah, that's how that works. And so, yep, I think that's pretty much the basics for Blender. Everything else we'll get into in the next tutorial. Thank you for watching this, and be on the lookout for the next tutorial. Don't forget to check out our videos and subscribe, like if you love, all that good stuff. Alright?